Good evening and welcome to our nightly bulletin of Just the News, where we give you all of the important information on what has happened in the country in just about 10 minutes. Let's get straight to it. The Supreme Court today observed that no state government should clamp down on the voices of citizens as they communicate their grievances on social media. Also, the court said it will treat this as contempt of Supreme Court if a citizen is harassed. The bench, which comprised of Justices Nageshwar Rao, D.Y. Chandrachud and Ravinder Bhatt, said we want to make it very clear that if citizens communicate their grievances on social media and the internet, then it cannot be said that this is wrong information. Let a strong message go out to states and DGP of states, which is Director Generals of Police. This comes at a time when the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister has instructed his administration to crack down on misleading social media posts, and have also filed an FIR against one individual who complained or asked for oxygen for his grandfather. Recently, Facebook had also hidden some posts with the hashtag Resign Modi and then clarified that it had done so by mistake. The Supreme Court also questioned the government on its vaccine policy and asked why the government is not following the National Immunization Program policy, where the centre, in all other cases of vaccination, buys the vaccine and then distributes it to the state governments in order to administer. Taking note on the difference of price between central government and state governments that we'll have to pay on each dose, Justice D.Y. Chandrachud said the vaccines are ultimately for the people of the country. The court also asked the government 10 important questions today. These are the questions. 1. What is being done to provide treatment to healthcare professionals who are contracting COVID? Can a mechanism be developed to show real-time updates regarding allocation of oxygen? How much investment has the central government made into vaccine companies? And what is the financial contribution of the union government into research and development of the vaccines? How will the central government ensure that vaccine registration is also available to illiterate people and those without internet, given that everybody has to use the CoWIN website, which is mandatory? Will one state government get priority over other state governments when getting the vaccine? How will the centre ensure equity by private vaccine manufacturers when it's buying only 50% of the vaccine doses? Why are people paying so much for this vaccine, which AstraZeneca is providing if at a far lower price to the citizens of the United States? Has the central government considered invoking Section 92 of the Patents Act to issue a compulsory license so the drugs can be manufactured where the royalty is sorted out? Have testing labs been directed to track the mutant variant of the virus? And has the centre tried to regulate hospital charges? The centre has been given time to answer all of these questions from the Supreme Court. In the meantime, India reported 386,000 new COVID cases as of Friday morning and 3,498 deaths in the last 24 hours. This is a new high. This is the 9th straight day that India has reported cases more than 3 lakh. Maharashtra remained the worst affected state, but a worrying set of numbers coming out of Karnataka now. According to data released as of this morning, the state reported 48,296 new cases, out of which capital city Bengaluru reported 26,756 new cases. The state has also reported 217 COVID deaths. Now, I want to give you some perspective. At the beginning of this month, of the month of April, the state was reporting 4,000 to 5,000 cases every day. Today, it is reporting 48,000 cases every day. The Madras High Court pulled up the centre for its laxity in containing the spread of COVID. Chief Justice Sanjeev Banerjee said that why are you acting now in April when you had a full year? To this, Additional Solicitor General R. Shankar Narayan told the court that the resurgence of the second wave of the virus was unexpected. To this, the Madras High Court said, do you, the centre, even consult experts on such issues? There is a need to act on expert advice and not on ad hocism. The court questioned the pricing of the vaccines and the crash of the CoWIN app as well. Earlier this week, remember, the Madras High Court had observed that the Election Commission should be booked for murder charges for allowing the political parties to carry on with rallies. As of today, the Election Commission of India has moved to Madras High Court, seeking directions to be issued to the media houses to confine their reporting to observations recorded in orders and to refrain from reporting oral observations. They basically cited the fact that things like you should be put up for murder charges will apparently create grave prejudice to the Commission and hurt its image. In West Bengal, amid a rise of COVID cases in the state, West Bengal has now shut shopping malls, restaurants, beauty parlours, gyms, spas and swimming pools. All social, cultural, academic, entertainment-related gatherings have been prohibited until further orders. Of course, it's interesting that this is happening now after all of the campaigning is over. Marketplaces will operate between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and then again 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Home deliveries will be permitted. West Bengal has now recorded 17,403 cases and 89 deaths in the last 24 hours. Let's take a look at information right now on the vaccines. Now remember, the third phase of the vaccination is to begin tomorrow, where apparently everybody above the age of 18 will qualify to get a vaccine. But the question is, are there enough vaccines? And it does seem like the answer to that question is a large no. The Karnataka Health Minister D. Sudhakar said the COVID vaccination for the age group 18 to 45 will not begin on the 1st of May in Bengaluru and the rest of the state of Karnataka. He urged people to register on the CoWIN portal but wait until the government tells them when the new stocks have arrived. The state government is procuring 1 crore doses, he said. Work order has been placed for the procedure to add 1 crore doses. The fourth phase of the vaccination will be taken up in stages. On the 29th of April, Karnataka Chief Minister Yediyurappa said so far the government has supplied 99.4 lakh doses, of which 93.5 lakh doses have been administered. 5.9 lakh doses are available with the state. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain has said the national capital does not have enough vaccine supply to start the vaccination drive for the 18 plus age group. It may take 3 or 4 months, he said, to cover all of the people in the national capital. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal appealed to people not to queue up at the centres tomorrow for the vaccine. He says, as soon as the vaccines arrive, we will let you know. We appeal to you not to crowd the vaccine centres for the next few days. Meanwhile, Delhi reported a shocking 395 deaths, 24,235 cases in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra's Health Minister Rajesh Tope has said that unless Maharashtra gets 25 to 30 lakh vaccine doses, it will not start the drive to vaccinate people above the age of 18 to 44 age group. He also said that Maharashtra has a capacity to vaccinate 8 lakh people daily if they have enough doses in the state. Maharashtra's wastage of the COVID vaccine is the best in the country, which is as low as 1%. This is, according to him, because of careful management of distribution and the staff on the ground. The Mumbai Civic Administration, the PMC, in the meantime, has said no vaccinations will be conducted in any government or private centres for the next 3 days, from the 30th of April to the 2nd of May. They've urged the public not to crowd the vaccine centres once the vaccine drive restarts. The Delhi Police Crime Branch has arrested 5 people from Uttarakhand for allegedly manufacturing fake or counterfeit remdesivir injections. The Crime Branch DCP Monica Bardwaj has said that 196 ready-to-sell forged or fake remdesivir injections were seized. Packing machines, 3,000 empty vials for packing of that injection was also recovered. It was further disclosed that the accused had already sold 2,000 fake remdesivir injections before being arrested. As Maharashtra is already facing lockdown-like restrictions that have been extended now to the 15th of May, the Bombay High Court has observed that the state should impose 15-day restrictions similar to last year. The bench, when questioning the state government of Maharashtra, said, "We are not issuing a direction, but do you think that the current restrictions are working? That only people with urgent business are on the road. At least for 15 days, if people stay indoors, we can expect better results." The Defence Ministry today granted emergency financial powers to the Indian Armed Forces to help them combat the COVID crisis in the country. These are in addition to the emergency powers delegated to the medical officers of the armed forces last week. The armed forces will now be able to set up COVID centres across the country. In Uttar Pradesh, a teachers' body, the Uttar Pradeshya Prathamik Shiksha Sangh, has demanded that the counting of votes, which was scheduled for the 2nd of May for the Panchayat polls, should be postponed, as 700 teachers and other employees have died due to COVID after the training for the Panchayat poll duties. In a letter to the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, Mr. Aditya Nath, and the State Election Commission, the association president, Dinesh Chandra Sharma, has mentioned the names of all of the 700 teachers who died after they contracted the infection when called for training and election duty. In other news, in Mumbai, former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh has approached the Bombay High Court challenging the 2 preliminary inquiries that have been initiated against him by the Maharashtra government. Parambir Singh has called himself a whistleblower who had tried to highlight corruption in the highest public office. In his petition, he said the orders issued by the State Home Ministry target and harass him, and such actions will act as a deterrent to other public servants who would want to make disclosures of corruption and other illegal activities in high functionaries of state machinery. This comes after Mumbai police registered an FIR against Singh and several others. The Andhra Pradesh government has decided to conduct the examinations for class 12 students as per schedule from the 5th of May to the 19th of May. The State Education Minister has said, and I quote, "We will follow all COVID protocols to make sure the exams are conducted in a safe environment. Immediate exams are very important for the future of students." The minister has said that 1,452 examination centers have been set up across the state, and students can download their hall ticket starting the 29th of April. The opposition TDP demanded the exams be postponed, but really there is a movement right now of students and parents and teachers who are currently across the state asking that these exams be moved. It also turns out that for many students, there are members of their families who have tested positive for COVID or are in hospital, and at that point to actually add more stress to them and their families by holding exams at this point is being considered a bad move. So the appeal to the state government right now is to postpone those standard 12 examinations in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Moving on to news coming in from the world of business right now. Rahul Bajaj will step down as the chairperson of Bajaj Auto and will be replaced by Neeraj Bajaj starting the 1st of May. Rahul Bajaj has been at the helm of the company since 1972 and at the group for 5 decades. The turnover of Bajaj Auto has grown from 7.2 crore to 12,000 crore rupees under his leadership. News coming in from across the world, mostly about aid that is being sent to India right now. The Japanese ambassador to India has informed that Japan will provide 300 oxygen generators and as many ventilators to India. He said that Japan stands with India in its greatest time of need. Bangladesh has stepped in as well to help India. Bangladesh's foreign secretary has said that it will send remdesivir along with other medical supplies to India next week. The other countries who have already pledged help and begun moving on it are the US, the UK, France, Australia and Germany among others. India's foreign secretary Harsh Shringrala has said that India is set to receive support packages from at least 40 other countries. The UAE has extended its restriction on entry of travellers from India by 10 more days until the 14th of May. It was until the 4th of May earlier. The other countries that have imposed restrictions on travellers from India are Hong Kong, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Thailand and Italy, among many others. Quick look at news from the world of science and technology. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin is all set to sell tickets for rides to its space tourism rocket called the New Shepard. New Shepard is designed to carry as many as 6 people on a ride past the edge of space, with capsules on previous test flights reaching altitude of more than 340,000 feet. The company has said it will reveal more details on the 5th of May. Of course, like we always do, we're leaving you with one piece of positive information. Given the lack of oxygen and ambulances in the country, a lot of people are now coming forward to help. Javed Khan, who drives an auto rickshaw in Bhopal, has now converted his auto into an ambulance. He takes patients to the hospital free of cost and has been doing so for 20 days now. Javed told the ANI that he had to sell his wife's jewellery to convert his auto into an ambulance. His auto now has an oxygen cylinder, a PPE kit, sanitizer and some medicines. He said, "I queue up outside the refill center to get oxygen, My contact number is available on social media. People can call me if they can't find an ambulance. Everybody is doing whatever they can. I'm going to leave you at that point now. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, the source articles to all of the information we gave you is in the description of our YouTube video. If you want to read more about any of these, you can go ahead and do so. Stay safe, stay home. Good night.